Welcome to the Black Box. Our story today is about an iconic crime that shattered every rule of aviation security, the skyjacking carried out by the man known as Dan Cooper. It was November 24, 1971, Thanksgiving Day in Portland, Oregon. No one stepping into the airport that day expected to witness the beginning of a mystery that would become an American legend. A quiet, unassuming man, dressed in a dark suit and wearing sunglasses, boarded a Boeing 727 flight, headed for Seattle. He purchased his ticket under the name Dan Cooper, but a media mix-up would later immortalize him as DB Cooper, the name that would forever be etched in history. The flight was short, barely a hop, but during that brief journey, Cooper handed a note to a flight attendant, Florence Schaffner. She, like anyone would, initially dismissed it, thinking it was just a man's phone number. But his next words, spoken calmly, changed everything. He leaned in and said, "Miss, I have a bomb in my briefcase." The casual atmosphere of the flight instantly evaporated, replaced by a cold, silent fear. The legend of DB Cooper had just begun. Cooper's demands were as precise as they were audacious. He wasn't a political revolutionary or a desperate man seeking asylum. His request was cold, hard cash, $200,000, specifically in unmarked, non-sequential $20 bills. He also demanded for parachutes 2 primary chutes and 2 reserves. This wasn't a spontaneous act. It was meticulously planned. The request for multiple parachutes was particularly clever, suggesting he might force a hostage to jump with him, which prevented authorities from trying to sabotage the gear. Once the plane landed in Seattle, the tarmac swarmed with FBI agents. A tense negotiation began. Cooper, remaining calm and collected, proved to be a man of his word. In exchange for the ransom money and the parachutes, he released all 36 passengers and some of the crew. They walked off the plane, shaken but unharmed, leaving Cooper alone with a skeleton crew to continue his plan. The next phase was even more chilling. Cooper issued a new set of instructions to the pilots. They were to take off again and fly south towards Mexico City, but this was no ordinary flight. He specified a low altitude, below 10,000 feet, and a slow airspeed, with the landing gear down and the wing flaps partially extended. These conditions were bizarre, but they were perfect for one thing: a low-altitude jump. Everyone in the cockpit knew Mexico City wasn't the real destination. The real end of this journey would be somewhere in the dark, empty sky. As the Boeing 727 roared back into the night, flying through a raging storm, the final act of this incredible drama was about to unfold. Somewhere over the rugged, forested terrain of southwestern Washington, DB Cooper prepared to make his exit. The night was pitch black, battered by wind and heavy rain. He ordered the remaining crew to stay in the cockpit and not to come out. Then he went to the rear of the aircraft, lowered the aft staircase, a unique feature of the 727 that he clearly knew how to operate, stepped out into the freezing turbulent air clutching a bag filled with $200,000. He simply vanished. One moment, he was on the plane. The next, he was gone, swallowed by the storm and the vast wilderness below. The crew landed safely, but Cooper was lost to the world. What followed was one of the most extensive and expensive manhunts in American history. Hundreds of soldiers, FBI agents, and local police scoured the dense forests, mountains, and rivers of the Pacific Northwest. They searched for any sign of the skyjacker, a body, a parachute, a shred of clothing, or even a single $20 bill. They found absolutely nothing. It was as if DB Cooper had leaped out of the plane and dissolved into thin air. He had become a ghost. So, who was DB Cooper? This is the true mystery inside the black box. It's clear he wasn't an amateur. His knowledge of the Boeing 727's mechanics, especially the rear air stair, suggested he might have had a background in aviation or the military. Was he a disgruntled airline employee? Over the years, countless theories have emerged. One major hypothesis is that he actually survived. Proponents of this theory believe Cooper was a skilled professional, perhaps a seasoned skydiver or a military veteran with survival training. They argue he knew exactly what he was doing, successfully landed in the wilderness, and managed to escape with his fortune, living out his days in quiet anonymity. He beat the system and got away with it, becoming a folk hero to some, but most experts lean towards a far grimmer outcome. The conditions for the jump were, to put it mildly, suicidal. He jumped into a freezing, violent storm, at night, over treacherous mountainous terrain. Parachute experts have stated that his chances of survival were almost zero. He could have been killed on impact, died from exposure in the brutal cold, or drowned in one of the region's many rivers. In this scenario, his body and the money were simply lost to the wilderness, never to be found. Then, in 1980, nearly a decade after the hijacking, a piece of the puzzle finally surfaced. A young boy named Brian Ingram, digging in the sand on the banks of the Columbia River, stumbled upon a decaying bundle of cash. It was just under $6,000, all in $20 bills. The FBI confirmed the serial numbers matched the ransom money given to Cooper, but this discovery only deepened the mystery. How did the money get there? Miles from the projected jump zone? Did it fall from his bag as he jumped? Did Cooper bury it, and it was later washed downstream? Or was it a deliberate plant to throw investigators off his trail? After 45 years of dead ends and false leads, the FBI officially closed the D.B. Cooper case in 2016, admitting they were no closer to finding him than they were in 1971. The file remains the only unsolved commercial skyjacking in American history. The story of D.B. Cooper is more than just a crime. It's a modern legend. He is the man who appeared from nowhere, committed a flawless crime with audacious cool, and then executed the ultimate disappearing act, leaping into the void. Was he a criminal mastermind or just a reckless gambler who got lucky or unlucky? We may never know. His true identity and his fate remain a secret that was never recorded in the black box. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more mysteries.